Hey, hello everyone. Let's see how to work with functions in JavaScript. As we know, functions is a reusable block of code. Whenever we want to write a block of code and we want to reuse it many times, we'll create a functions. Basically, after we create a function, we can use it many times by calling or invoking it. Okay, so when we call the function, what will happen is the code inside of it will be executed. So in JavaScript, we will see some example of functions. Like we'll create a function with no parameter, no return value, and then we'll create a function with no parameter and a return value, and we'll create a function with parameter and no return value. Then with both function with the parameter and return value. Okay, let's see each of this in action. First, let me start with this example. Function with no parameter and return value. Let me create a function. How we can create a function is with the help of this function keyword and function name we have to provide. So in this example, we are going to give no parameter and no return value. Uh, yeah, but we need to provide a function name, right? So let's say hello dev. I did not provide any parameter here. Okay. And there is no return values. I am not using a return keyword. So console.log just print something like what is that? Hey, hello JS developer. Okay. So now the function is created. As I said earlier, we need to call this function or invoke this function, then only we can use this function. Okay. So how we can do this is just enter the function name. That's it. Okay. Now when we execute this, whenever we invoke the function, right, whatever the statements inside that function, that will be executed. So when we invoke this function, this is the only statement inside this function. This will be executed. Okay. You can say that hey, hello JS, hello JS developer. This is executed. Now we'll go to an next example like function with no parameter but a return value. Okay. Now we have to return a value. So let me do it like we return the same return. I'm putting this in a return block. Um, yeah, let me run it. We'll see what happens. We did not see any output because this hello dev this function, right, it is giving an output, but we did not use any console, so we cannot show this output. For that, let me create a variable called output, assigning the return value of this hello dev to this output. Okay, then I'm printing the same in console. Now let's see the output. Okay, now we have no parameter, but there is a return value. Okay, now we can see, right, the value is returned back. Okay, let's move to the another example. Function with parameter. We are going to create a function with parameter, but there is no return value. Okay. Let me start from the scratch. So function name is let's say multiply. I'm gonna try the multiply example. That's the function name, and I'm gonna pass arguments x and y. Okay. And there is no return value, right? So not log x multiply by y. Now I have to call this function. Let me call this function multiply. Here we need to pass the arguments. So arguments are, let's say, 2 comma 5. So the output should be 10. Now we created a function with arguments with parameters, but there is no return value here. Okay, you can see the output, right, 10. Now we have to create a function with parameter and there should be a return value. Okay, so instead of console.log, I'm gonna say return. So this whenever this multiply function is invoked, it will return a value of x multiplied by y. So we need a variable, right, in order to show that in the output. So that output equal to multiply. I'm passing the arguments and show that in the output. Console.log output. Okay. Now you can see function. This function is with the function name and parameters. Then we also return the value. Okay. You can see the output is done. So this is how we can work with function. Basically, functions are a reusable block of code. So whenever we want to use the same block of code many times, we can create a function, and we have to call or invoke the function. So whenever we do that, whatever the code inside of that function, right, that will be executed. And we can do that with the parameter and with the return value, or without that also we can do that. That's what we saw in this session. And good, thank you.